Farah was the inspiration.
Yes, I think it was 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and Jim had gone downstairs to warm up the milk, and I was upstairs with the crying baby who just would not stop crying, terribly loud, and Jim was taking forever warming the milk.
Yeah, I'd overheated it in front of the tap, cooled it down again, and I'd forgotten about it, so I had to cook it, I put the kettle back on and heat it up again. That took a good few minutes, and Farah was cooling downstairs, let's say, so when I went upstairs again, she was quite frustrated with me.
It was like, what took you so long? Why does it always take so long?
And then I distinctly remember she said that, I think she said that you're an engineer, can't you fix this? Do something about this, fix it. And that was a throwaway comment really, but it stuck, and we discussed it a few days later.
Yes, it was definitely a few days later, and I said, well, wouldn't it be great if there was a bottle that could warm the milk up for you? And if it got it to the right temperature, that would be amazing.
Jim had the idea, and then we started doing engineering calculations, top-level engineering calculations, to see if the idea could work. Once we'd done the maths to say, well, potentially the idea could work, then it got a bit more practical, and we started experimenting with things, experimenting with different solutions to get the heat reaction right, and then worked our way through the practicalities, trying to understand how the device could work.
First we drafted the requirements for engineering design, the requirements that a bottle needs to satisfy, and these requirements came from investors and how this should operate in practice. And the requirements were particularly about the flow times and the temperature of the milk that needs to exit the nipple.
We focus on taking new ideas to market for our clients. We get excited about real market impact. We initially just go out into the market and see what mums want, and we always encourage taking real objects to them to see them used in situ. And Jim's early prototypes, they did a phenomenal job functionally. They met the sort of functional need of the consumer of warming the milk, but it introduced a few barriers, we thought, to getting the product adopted. These are ones that we think accurately reflect what we were hoping for, our inspiration for the final design. And this allowed us to also start testing the branding we were working on, the communication, but also the colours, which are really important. So we thought some of the orange colours reflected the sort of warmth. You'll see that reflected in the packaging.
The sort of problems I see mothers experiencing in the early days is that if for any reason at all they want to give a bottle, maybe of express milk because they're visiting the doctor and they don't want to sit and breastfeed in the middle of the surgery, they get in a panic all about how they take the milk, how they warm it up, how they store it and so on. And of course a bottle like the Yoomi, where they can just be self-sufficient, is very useful. I also have a lot of my mums who travel, they go and stay with friends for the weekend, or they're going abroad or whatever, and for them having a bottle that they can take and heat up very quickly and easily without needing to beg hot water and things is very useful. Temperature is very important, and if you can heat it to the exact temperature that that baby likes, preferably very similar to breast milk, you stand a much better chance of the baby feeding well.
The bottle is gorgeous. Jim has worked very hard to produce an amazing product.
The best moment was Jim winning the LTF award in the design and engineering category. It was great for him to receive that recognition from professional investors and from the business community.
The reason I think the bottle like Yoomi would help a lot in the early days is quite often it's really nice if the father gets involved with the baby. And one of the things I recommend quite a lot is that the mother expresses some milk shortly before, let's say, the late evening feed. She can then go to bed and leave the father with the bottle, but like many men, he hasn't a clue and he's afraid of doing it wrong. And if she says, look, here's the bottle, all you've got to do is press the button and give it, there's no worries for her or him that he'll overheat the milk or do anything wrong. And I think for that reason alone, a lot of couples will buy the Yoomi.
My memory is at night, and my husband's downstairs, and as soon as I hear the tap running, I know he's overheated it in the microwave. And there's nothing worse. Your baby is screaming and you know the microwave's overheated the milk and he's got the tap saying, I'm cooling it down. And you just want it there quickly at the right temperature so you can feed.
When you have a baby, you just want things that help you simplify your life.